Here, I will talk about I am not talking about what is agricultural extension and what like that, but straight away I will go for the agricultural extension. How the curriculum is evolving. Suppose once you complete already, most of you studying in the BSc Agriculture, once you complete the BSc Agriculture, then what you can look for and what you can study and what are the areas you really study in the agricultural extension. That was, we talk about few courses. For example, today we'll talk some 6 or 7 courses, because each course has the different potential for job opportunities. Whenever we study agricultural extension, then generally we think it's an agricultural extension job in the KVKs or universities or some ICR research organization as a researcher, or some NGOs like that. We used to very narrowly we think, but it is not that. Each subject offers different type of opportunities. Only thing is you need to read more and you need to get little more experience in the particular area. That's what we talk about today. Some different subjects, what really you undergo during when you are higher studies, when you are going, what are the subjects you really undergo and what are things you can extra also you can experience. Those things we will talk. Then we will stop also. Then afternoon also we will talk about something after 12 o'clock, 12 to 1 also we talk about really today's job market. Once you are completing UG, what type of competencies are needed. It's a general thing. It is not only for agricultural extension students, all the agriculture students, what type of competencies the employers or those who are providing job they are looking for, like that we will see afternoon. Then again tomorrow onwards we will see very specific opportunities in agricultural extension for the consultancy, for research, or you want to do some other global expert in agricultural extension related area, rural development, those type of things we will talk tomorrow and day after tomorrow also. Only 2 hours every day we will talk. And today we will talk about some of the subject areas, what you really study and where it will take to you. For example, once you are going MSc level, you need to understand the global extension landscape. These curriculum are globally, it is for MSc level, it is inbuilt or it is in the offing. For example, even Indian Council of Agriculture Research, there is a curriculum change. Shortly it is going to be affected. There is a possibility of including these type of topics, and globally also these type of topics already available. Otherwise also those who are studying in extension, even it is not in the specific as a specific course curriculum, you need to read about these type of courses. That's what. First one is we need to understand about global extension landscape. That's what I was telling. Agricultural extension, it is not, it's a local subject, something for only specific to particular region or country or state. It is the global subject. Whatever, it's a globally, this extension is evolving and everywhere extension is there. Agricultural extension, or we call whether veterinary extension, fisheries extension. Generally, here we'll talk about extension. It is globally available for the improving the livelihoods of rural population across the country. It is there. And these type of courses, generally, this global extension landscape, when you are studying how extension evolving globally. For example, almost many developing countries, agricultural extension is evolving last 6 decades, almost 6 decades. Since 1960s, there were organized extension programs across the globe. And these 6 decades, it's a globally evolving. It's whether developed nations or developing countries or least developed, whatever it may be, but extension is going in next level, and there are new innovations and new things. When as a student of extension, once you study, you need to understand about how the evolution of extension happens, why it is happens. There may be new challenges globally. For example, today we talk about marketing information, and also climate change. These are all the very great challenges the humankind. For the agriculture, it's marketing, getting the remunerative prices for the farmers, and globally climate change is one of the biggest issue. When these type of new challenges are coming, then extension also evolves itself to respond to these challenges. Once these type of new challenges are coming, extension is evolving, and you will read globally so that you can understand why it is happening, what globally, how they are tackling these challenges. Like that you can start studying. For this, how this extension subject is useful, like that you will study. Apart from that, whenever there is a new challenges are coming, there is a new capacities are needed among the extension professional. What type of new capacities are needed for extension professionals like that you will study. And apart from that, you will get the new insights about whole communication and innovation studies are changing. For example, 60 years before, communication is entirely different. Earlier, we used to talk about in agricultural extension, posters, leaflets, or TV, radio, something like that. But today you see communication become very seamless. Today we are talking about digital media and everybody communicating using the WhatsApp or YouTube channels. And like these streamings are happening. That's why communication also evolving. When more or less we will talk agricultural, this extension landscape more much relying on the communication process and how innovation takes place. These type of new studies are coming, how this innovation happens, how this communication is evolving, and communication is much more moving faster with the new technologies like that you need to study. This is across the globe, it is changing. New communication and innovation, how it happens in Europe and India, it may be entirely different. But why it happens in somewhere in particular pattern and why the innovation happens in some other place, why communication, for example, many of the Europe and other places, Twitter gets a lot of importance, and country like India will put a lot of WhatsApp and Facebook. Why it is? There is a communication channel also. There is a lot of new insights are coming on this direction. These things globally you need to study so that you can get the better practices, global good practices to the our condition also we can see, and also we can learn better lessons from across the globe what it is happening like that. And also when there are new challenges, extension reforms, they will many governments and across the country, public, private sector very much interested in the extension. Then they will try to reform the entire system. When they are reforming, how new things are happening like that. That also there is countries wise there is a different experiences. Those things also we need to study. And when you are studying this type of global extension landscape, then you study what is globally new in extension. For example, there is public-private partners, and there are new functions, new capacities are needed, and new challenges like climate change, other things are coming. What are the challenges? Today, you see everywhere there is a flood, there is a challenge across the globe, whether China or Europe, there is everywhere India, everywhere flood, and how to the climate change issues, how to support the farmers during this climate change era. That is very important challenge. Then globally, what type of practices people are doing, we need to see. Apart from that, how the whole extension is evolving. There is a extension methodology, extension, how they will do also globally it is evolving. Communication studies or extension approaches, methods, those things we will study. Apart from that, how the government's policy they are putting for the new extension approaches like that. We will study all these type of globally what is happening, and these type of things you will study, you need to study. For example, even if it is not there also, extension is a global subject. That's why we should not look for the job opportunities in only for the particular country or particular organization. We need to look for the country, whether you are working here or somebody attending from Ethiopia, they can look for the job in India and other part of the country, or we can look for the many developing countries or developed countries. We can take our approaches, our experience to other countries. That's why always extension student need to have the broader outlook, and that's why it's a extension is a global subject. We need to understand the globally what is happening and where something extension approaches are working, somewhere it is not working like that. And also many governments are trying to support the agricultural extension. When they are doing what type of funding and how they are supporting these extension organization, when supporting what type of challenges like that you need to do. Once if you are studying these, once if you know this and the student can understand globally how extension it is there, when you are studying these type of courses, when the coursework in the MSc or you can study from the global large number of websites, publications are available. Today, digital resource everywhere, and how it is there. And globally, people talk about agriculture innovation system. There are large number of other players. They are coming together and making some relationships like that. How it is making, and how the governments are supporting, how reforms somewhere working or not working like that. And also what type of policy changes like that. When once you complete your undergraduate course, when you are going for the higher studies in MSc, the first fundamental thing you should understand the extension. It is not only you are studying for the particular village or particular region. It's a global subject, and globally there are a lot of innovations are happening. That's so you can appreciate how really some things are happening globally. and how we can take, or our experience, how we can take. That's why, you need to look for the job once you understand the globally what is happening, and also locally some innovations or best practices. Those experiences you can take to other part of the world also. That's why it's a global this one. And this once they study these type of things, policy level, how it is happening, what type of approaches like that you can understand. And this is the first thing you need to go about, you need to understand. And I will stop here. I will take few questions. Here, any issues are there, or I am very clear because I'm talking to most of the students, even agriculture extension, what it is like that they may not be given. But I'm talking, once you study for the extension as a higher studies, and first thing what you understand, this is not the local or small subject only deals with the technology transfer or extension methods in the particular place. Generally, when we study, it's the technology transfer, some rural development programs or extension programs we will study, and our thinking we will reduce to only to the our own neighboring place or village or the district or state or country. But it is not. The basic understanding should be it's a global subject. You need to not, once you complete the BSc agriculture, when you look for the opt for the MSc, then you need to think you are studying something globally prevalent subject that is across the globe. Large millions of people are working for this agriculture extension, whether extension officers or extension professionals or administrators or policy makers like that. Large number of people across the globe they are working. So it is you are dealing with millions of people, those who are working with this particular subject. That's why first understanding you need to be there. Once the extension you complete, you start choosing for your professional development. You need to little more broader focus on global vision. You need to understand more. It is not necessarily should be taught in the classrooms. And because today most of the information, everything available online, then we need to look for the more information, more experiences. You need to study from this global perspective. And like this, there are other courses also, one by one I will go. But before going next course, next what we study, the major area, and I will again I will get any questions anybody having?
Uniform with respect growth vision. Such growth is called.
Any questions, anything? Some student is very nicely they are talking reform and growth, something related. Yeah. Any questions? Any clarification?
So that we can let them talk. Because
Astos Kumar Das, Astos Kumar, you want to talk?
Sir, you have told that different countries have different challenges with it. What are the challenges?
you are not audible, sir. Please,
Yeah.
please your
Extension sector.
Astos, can you talk little louder?
You have told that different challenges are with respect to different countries. What are the challenges with respect to extension work other than
Okay. Okay. His question, Mr. Astos Kumar, question is, you told about different challenges extension generally is there. Because of these challenges, extension is evolving, new methods or approaches are coming. For example, if you talk extension today is the two major issues. One is the earlier technologies, 1960s, only technology is the major problem. Farmers not aware about technologies. Then the extension mostly concentrating on technologies to take to the farmers, or taking the technology and demonstration, other things like that. But today there is a more production is there, but how to market, how to process, those things are the problem. Then marketing extension is the challenge today. Then how to farmers process and where to sell, how to brand it, how to take it to consumers, that is the major challenge for extension. That's why today many of them extension approaches to include market approaches, where better price farmers can get, where they can produce, where they can process it, and how they can, where they can sell for better price. Like marketing, one major challenge. Apart from that, the climate change everywhere. Somewhere unseasonal rains or floods and lot of disasters are happening. And these type, how we can, there are climate smart approaches and technologies which are mitigating these effects. Those type of technologies we need to take care. Then extension also, climate smart extension like that they are working. How we can make the farmers become more climate smart, agriculture become more climate smart like that. Like that, these are the challenges. Every time it evolves and over the years it changes. 1960s, taking the technology, food production is the major challenge. But today is the marketing and market taking the farmer producer to better market, better price, or climate change. These are the major issues. Like that, for example, across the globe, women is working in the farm, but they are not given better technologies, better facilitation. Then how to take the women farmers to the field like that? These are the challenges like that. No, it evolves over the years, and country to country it also differs. And any other clarification?
Participants can use the chat box, or then they can raise their hand so that we can unmute them.
Otherwise, I am clear or not clear? Are you getting? Yes or no? Oh, it is muted already. All.
Sir, is their governance also creating some challenges?
ఏమన్నా కరెక్షన్ చేస్తారు
Little louder. Okay. Any others? Okay. Some of them they given it's clear. They are getting. They are understanding. I will go for the next. For example. I will go for the next.
Is governance also creating some challenges for workers?
Somebody still talking. Okay. Another major issue when you study whole agriculture. Next major area you study is that is applied behavior change. Applied behavior change. Kausik, it is echoing. Kausik, it is echoing.
Can you check now, sir?
That's okay.
Can you check now, sir?
That's okay.
I'm just checking.
No, somewhere the two systems they may open yourself or.
No, sir.
Okay.
Now, okay, sir?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay.
Next major area is applied behavior change. Overall, agricultural extension itself, they will tell it is the changing of, it's the educational process, changing of knowledge, skill, attitude of the farmers and others, those who are involved in the agriculture development. That's why the major another area we cover in during the MSc is the to build the capacity of students to understand the what are the human behavior, and in the individual, group or community levels, how they will behave, how we can change, how we can make the extension strategies to change the better human behaviors. This was whole education process involved in change of behavior. And we will try for the study about, students will study about the behavior of the individuals and group and communities. For example, today, large number of farmers are coming together and making us groups like farmers producer companies. When farmers are individually, they behave differently. When they are all in the group, how this group psychology, how the farmers they will behave, how we can use, what type of extension methodologies we can use, like that they will study about this particular course. Here we study about foundations of behavior change, how behavior change and how it occurs, how the people are learning, and cognitive process of how people learn and how they process the information, how they will make the choices or decision making in the many of the agricultural activities, how they will make in the agriculture development. There are different choices and there are different decisions many stakeholders are doing, how they are doing, especially farmers and others, and how what type of attitude they are having, how it is influencing, and how the intergroups or farmers become in the group, or how they are socially identifying, like that we used to study. This type of studying, students can understand better how the farmers are learning the things and how they are changing their behavior, when they are in the group, how they behave like that, they will students they will understand, so that we can use the better extension approaches. This is another important area. And next major area is this type of courses. This is very much useful for when you are going for the many of the extension new methodologies. You are to devise new methodologies, taking the new information to the farmers, and you need to analyze and how farmers are behaving individually, group wise, so that you can work with the farmers individually, group in the many of the rural development programs. This is another important course when you are designing for the developmental program schemes for the farmers. You can understand all things and also you can use. And apart from that, another important the area you study is that is the capacity development, and how the human behavior it will change, and how they can capacity they can develop. Like many of the training programs are all we will used to do in this area. And when you are development, capacity development and development, more or less it is how it happens and what type of needs their capacity, why we need to develop, and what are the needs, and what type of institutions and how they are doing, how we can make the projects for the capacity development of agriculture development stakeholders. Once you do some capacity development programs for the human resource development, what are the methods and tools you can use? If you want to become the trainer and you want to be an expert in the HRD, human resource development in the agriculture sector, and these type of courses are very much useful. You try to understand how to understand the needs of the others, and how to form the projects, and what type of methods and tools you need to use. Those things you will study here. And also you understand how to evaluate or understand the impact of your programs, capacity development programs, how it is developing, where human beings are developed and which are the areas, and where is the lacuna, like that you can understand. That is another important area. When you want to be a trainer, you want to be a development professional, and these type of courses are very much useful. You can understand the different types of tools and methods for the capacity development of stakeholders, and how to evaluate or understand the impact of this program also you can understand. This is another major area you can understand. And once you understand, you can know how we can give the training, and how we can assess the needs of the individuals, and what type of methods you can use, and you can formulate the projects, and you can evaluate the impacts also based on this type of learning. And next, another important area is whether you are going for a higher level. Research methodology is important, and you study about the research methodology, and it develop these type of courses develop the critical competence of the students in the planning and conducting the research. And most of the sociology research are qualitative, quantitative models, how we can use, what type of methods and tools to study the research. For example, if you want to study what is the impact of COVID on agricultural, COVID on human population, like that, anything, if you want to study this impact and other things, these type of research methodology courses are very much useful. And here you study about different types of behavioral research, how they are qualitative or behavioral research are happening. And when you are trying to do some research, what type of variables or indicators you need to take, and how to design your research, and how many people or population, and what is the sample, how many to collect, and how to collect the data. Whether today, if you see many of them earlier survey methods, field visits they will go, or questionnaire they will send the online or postal. Today most of the online there is a data collection methods are available. How we can use these type of methods to get the information from the different type of sample we are studying, whether farmers or extension personnel, or different approaches or schemes you want to study, how it is effective, like that. Then these type of courses are useful. When these type of courses you are studying, you can be the researcher for the many of the organizations, those who are looking for the research impacts and new projects they are formulating to conduct the monitoring evaluation of the large number of government schemes or other things. You can be as a researcher to understand how the particular project or program impacted the human lives, and how it is useful, and which are the areas it is really had the effect on human population, like that you can understand. This type of studying research and you can be expert in the research, so that you can conduct the research, and you can do the policy, you can provide the policy inputs, and those type of institutions you can work. Understanding this, studying this course, you can understand the more methods and tools in the research methods, and also a lot of analytical methods, how they are using and how to interpret the data. You are getting some data, how to interpret and how to make it is useful for the policy making, other things like that. This course is useful, these type of courses. And another important big area, another area you study is something related to organizational behavior and development. Agricultural extension or many agriculture development, because of research or extension or other developmental organizations, NGOs like that, large number of organizations are involved in the development, and they are acting as enablers of change. Then to understand the organizations, how they are behaving, for example, public sector organization or private sector or NGOs, these all entirely differently they will behave, because everybody has the different type of their motives, different type of their objectives and why they are working. Then we can understand how these type of organizations are working and who are the people are working, what type of skill they are having, public sector or private NGOs or individuals, agribusiness companies, like the large number of people are working for agriculture development. Studying these type of courses, you can understand about organizations, how their organizations are behaving, or organizational individuals, how they are behaving, like that, so that you can, for motivating the organizations or to create the better organizational communication, or to reduce the conflict between public sector, NGOs or private sector, and for brokering these type of things, and you can get the better insights and skills on understanding about the organizations. And once you are understanding the organizations, then you can be the better administrator or manager, and whatever schemes, other things you are working, and you can lead the organizations. This type of you will get a lot of practical experience. This is the another important area, organizational behavior. Here you study about what is the basics of organization, different type of organizations, and how the organizations are behaving. In the organizations, individual staff or group, how they will behave, how some of the organizations are more productive, some of the organizations, why it is not productive, how the whole organizational development is happening, like that student can understand, so that he can be he know better to manage the organization, what type of tools or technologies, like that. This is another interesting area, it is available. And here I will stop. Any questions are there?
Where you can speak.
Anybody, any questions, anything? Can you raise your hands? When you are going for higher level, what type of courses, what type of areas you need to study? Because each course has the different implication in your job prospects. When you are not studying for only for getting the marks or completing the subject, but you study in depth and you understand more and more, you study about particular subject, you will get different types of job perspectives. That was our basic understanding. That's what I want to emphasize on it. Each one has the different, for example, research methodology itself. You can be a good researcher. You can be a public and private sector, even large number of private companies, they are doing the research and consultancy for the government and many organizations. Only as a good researcher, you can be anywhere in the public or private sector, you can go as a researcher. Many of the developmental professionals are doing it. For example, organizational management, if you are studying, you should be a better manager or administrators, or you can lead the NGO, or you can anywhere administrative persons. When you are going, these type of things are useful. And also you can be a consultant on managing organization or starting better organizational culture, like that. You can have even employee motivation, other things like that. And like that, each course has the different implications for our subject. And this another interesting course is ICTs for agricultural extension. Many of you today, information and communication technologies. This is the very it is a course. It is available for MSc students. This itself is a separate branch actually. Information and communication technology itself, it is a big brain. There is ICT for development, like that. There is a different area. And here you can study different type of information communication technology initiatives for development and also agriculture development. These ICTs are applicable in all the sectors, not only agriculture. It is applicable in all the sectors. how these information communication technologies like websites, mobile and mobile applications, and now today we talk about more of disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence and IoT practices, something like Internet of Things or blockchain, like that. Many things are today they are using for the agriculture development. You can understand how even many government and private initiatives are available. Even for example, Kisan Call Center, like that, there is a nation level initiative, it is available. And there are private initiatives, many initiatives are available. These type of ICT initiatives, how it is useful. And today, if you see, apart from that, today social media, there is a big way they are using. Even like WhatsApp or Facebook or YouTube, big way they are trying for the getting the information or training, like this streaming are happening. And these type of how these ICTs are used for agriculture development, you can study. Here, large number of things starting from earlier it is mobile based, SMS based to today IoT based, a lot of smart technologies are there. What type of technologies, other things are over the years it is evolved, how it is used in the country like India or globally. Generally, it is ICT means not only information dissemination, it is for the even capacity development, giving the better voice to the large number of people, and overall knowledge management, it is very much useful, and creating the knowledge, storing or disseminating to the large number of stakeholders. And here there are large number of other things, maybe expert systems, so websites and social media, artificial intelligence, smart technologies like that. Even it is today many of the even IVRs, if you see call centers, automatically it works for the for example, somebody going for the booking gas or something, it is automatically books, and the human computer interaction is a different way it is taking up. And also many of the robotics, other things are used in the agriculture for many of the operations. For example, in the large area and the particular type of taking the application of herbicides or the harvesting of the particular crops, like that, robotics they started using. That's why this whole ICT, information communication technology, has the greatest scope in the particular area. Somebody can be expert in the ICTs for the agricultural development. Any area you can be in the particular area, you can be the expert or consultant. You can be you can create some of the projects and what application aspects, how these evolving information communication technologies we can use for the agriculture development, like that. It has the great scope. Many times there is a knowledge management experts like that. Globally, people are asking. For example, social media, somebody very expert in social media for using, you can be the social media manager or social media expert in using it. Many organizations have started hiring for these type of things. That's why this is not the one course. It has a lot of opportunity, job opportunities like knowledge management specialists or experts or consultants or IT expert or ICT specialists, like that. There are a lot of opportunities will be coming. For that may not be this one course may not be suffice the requirements, but you need to develop your own interest in any particular course, and you need to move forward for much more these areas you need to study, and mobile applications, other things like that. This particular course itself has the large number of job opportunities, other things. Here, any questions, anybody? Anybody has the question, anything? Somebody, if you want any question, anything, can you raise your hands?
One question from Abhiru Pasal. She's asking, can you please tell some of the organizations which are helpful in rural areas?
What is that?
In the chat box, it is there, sir. She's asking regarding any organizations which will be helpful in rural areas.
For rural areas, it is depending upon the place. You see large number of, when agricultural extension, when you are talking, every district there is a KVKs, Krishi Vigyan Kendras available across the country. There is a 700 plus Krishi Vigyan Kendras. Every district has the Krishi Vigyan Kendras, and large number of NGOs are working in the rural areas. You can see those NGOs. And today, if you see large number of farmer producer organizations are coming. These organizations are trying to, farmers coming together and trying to support each other. Like that, large number of organizations rural area you can see. Even, for example, the Panchayat Raj is local self-governing democratic institutions These also trying to do local level planning and development like that. Like village level, you can see large number of organizations, rural development or village means each village may not be having, but nearby or this type of organization, district level, all the agriculture developmental departments like fisheries, horticulture, and agriculture all will be working for the rural development. It is not may not be exactly in the village, but for the village development, many of them are working. Any other thing? No, somebody asking, what do you mean by organizational behavior? For example, the organizational behavior means, for example, agricultural extension departments. These are one set of organizations. When you study about these organizations and those type of staff they are working, it is helpful for the agriculture development. For example, what type of motivation level, what type of, why they are agriculture extension officers, some places more motivated, some places not motivated, and how they are performing well or not, like that you can study so that you can understand. For example, some places agricultural extension officer, there is no promotional opportunities, there is no incentives for the development, then they may not be working. Then you need to study why this organization, there is no motivation, no incentives for the extension personnel, like that you can study. That will, those type of studying organizational and how they are communicating. Some of the organization communicating with all, or some of the organization not communicating in between, staff may not be openly talking, not communicating. Then those type of communication behavior you can understand so that you can suggest better communication behavior or better promotional policies, like that. No, you can study all the organizational behavior of the different organizations. Because these, whether it's NGO or it is in developmental departments or farmer producer organizations, these are all the organizations. When people are coming together, they will behave in the certain way. They behave and they communicate in the certain way, and we can understanding those things, and we can support them for the work for the better, for the development. That's why this type of studying about organizations and best practices in the organization, and what are the best incentive mechanism or best communication methodologies in the organization, what are the organizational policies, or what type of organization, what is the performance of organizations, and even people used to study overall organizational climate, how really it's some of the organizations are very proactive and very positive, why it is like that we can understand studying about organizations. No, information technology, what is the difference in them? IT, all electronic, other things, information technology, it's information communication technology, it is more or less same only, but predominantly in development sector we used to call not IT. For example, software development, all called, generally they will call information technology. But when we talk about all the development related information communication technology, like that we used to talk. And we can't Infosys ICT company, like that we can't tell. It's a IT. They produce software and other things like that. It is, they purely work on information technology. But many of the other developmental related things, ICTs, information and communication technology related. That's why it is not one and the same, but it is different. For example, Ministry of Information Technology, we can tell Ministry of Communication and Broadcasting, there is a different, it's not the communication, like that. IT means only software and these related, but the most of the development, it's a communication also, it is there. That's why using computers and other digital technologies for handling or communicating the information we are using, but not necessarily all the information technology companies or institutions they need to use for the communication. That's why in the development perspective, we used to call ICTs. Is any negative effect of ICT? No, there is anything we can use optimum, there is good efforts, and when you are using more and more, somebody asked any negative effects of ICT. It is if you are, it is a human touch and also personally going, it is quickly we can convince, and always information communication technology, it is only supplementary or complementary. we can't totally replace the human communication or other traditional methods. And somebody asked agriculture engineering. Agricultural extension is, I told already, it is agriculture means includes agriculture engineering, veterinary, horticulture, like that, all the subject. It is nothing very specific to particular branch. In machinery also, in large number of extension they need to do. That's why in engineering or veterinary or home science, it is immaterial. Whatever we are talking, agriculture extension means it includes everything, and it has a scope in the all the subjects. It is maybe agriculture means it includes all the other subjects also. Somebody asked how ICT plays role in Atma schemes. Atma schemes generally district level organizations to take the better technologies are taking the different stakeholders taking together. ICT plays important role. Any related to any the subject area, any course curriculum, I am telling about evolving curriculum. Any clarification here? I was talking about different areas, and I am not talking what is ICT and what is organizational behavior, but what really you study in your higher studies, so that you can look for the job opportunities in these areas I was talking. Otherwise, I am not teaching ICTs. What is ICTs like that? But I am talking something how these different areas it make you to better job opportunities in other places, provided you need to be expert in the particular area. You need to specialize. Only studying for the sake of course completion, it won't work. For example, when you are studying for ICT course, ICTs for agriculture development, you need to understand more and more, and how what type of projects and where it is successful or not, and how we can implement, and farmers what type of information tools farmers are using, and which time we need to communicate, what type of strategies we need to follow, like that. You need to do more research on particular area. But these areas like organizational development or research methods and ICTs, information communication technologies, and global extension, these are studying. It will take you to different type of job opportunities. That was my point actually. Any other thing? Somebody asked, what is the difference between the Indian agriculture extension programs and other countries in agriculture? The agriculture extension, every country it is differs overall, and many of the developing countries will go now more advanced, and their farmers are more industrialized. And for example, in Germany, there won't be any much public sector extension personnel. Mostly private, there is advisors will be there, consultants will be there. They are going and advising. Like country like America, every farmer has 5,000 acres or 10,000 acres. Then they will be getting directly information from the industries or agricultural laboratories. Straight away, they will get the information. That's why every country, depending upon the stage and the development, it varies. For example, many of the developing countries, public extension system still it is prevalent. Now, along with public extension system, there are a lot of NGOs and large number of agribusiness companies are coming. And today, if you see, large number of agri startups people are talking, and those type of agri startups are coming, and like that, there are large number of other players also. They are coming and they are trying to do extension activities. What type of courses can be taken up after completing agriculture extension through research or any specific course? Yes, after completing extension or while doing your MSc, for somebody want to be very specialized in only research, then you can go for the, there are short courses organized by many organizations like Indian Institute of Management, IIMs and others. You can attend for short courses. Otherwise also there are large number of online courses are available. For example, you want to be, after completing the ICTs, information communication technology, you want to be a better knowledge management specialist. There are large number of courses are available, online courses. You can take extra courses so that you can understand more about that particular area. For that, today if you see, large number of courses are available in online, and you can see. First you need to choose the topic and then you can go. There are short-term training courses are available, and online courses along with continuously, you can, along with MSc also, you can go for these type of courses. It is available. And there are internship opportunities also available. Many organizations and others are research internships or the development professional, particular subject related internships also available. You can go for the internship so that you can develop more on that particular area. For example, after completing your MSc or PhD, you want to be a policy analyst or policy something you want to policy analyst. You want to be policy. There is a fellowship from DST. There is a policy postdoctoral fellow in policy making or science policy, like that also you can go. There are a lot of opportunities available like that. Somebody asked, what is the opt between MS Agriculture Extension SAUs or MBA in Manage? Manage, MBA, Manage, we used to, we give the postgraduate diploma in agribusiness management. This is very specific for the developing the techno managers for the agribusiness companies. And somebody want to be, want to work in the agribusiness companies, most of the private sector, then you need to opt for the MBA in postgraduate diploma in agribusiness management in Manage. If you want to be other developmental professionals like researcher or you want to be a trainer or facilitators or you want to be the organizational consultant or something like that, different options it provides in the MSc extension. But this MBA in Manage, it's a self-financed course. You need to pay nearly 8 lakhs for 2 years course and 100% placement. It is only for the agribusiness company techno managers job you can get. Many large number of companies. That's why you need to be very clear. You need to choose which one you like. You want to be a researcher, you want to be a development professional, you want to be a researcher, or you want to be a facilitator. Like that, there are different jobs. But Manage MBA, if you are doing, you will be only for particularly you are choosing for agribusiness job, agribusiness companies job you want to go, then you can choose it.